Let's get real. You can't become your future self while clinging to your past one, the identity, the comfort zone, the stories that once kept you safe. They don't get to come with you. Every next level of you will demand a deeper level of you. And the thing that's standing between where you are and where you're trying to get to is fear. And here's the thing that most people don't realize. Fear isn't just something that you survive. It's the very thing that shapes who you become. Sometimes it shows up as doubt. You might retreat inwards, back to the familiar, back to the comfort zone, back to the version of reality that you know. Other times it creeps up as anxiety, a fear of the unseen, the unknown, of taking that next step when you can't see what's on the other side. But more often than not, fear is actually a signpost, a big clue that you're very much on the right path, that you're there at the edge of your own expansion, even if it doesn't feel like it. But your higher self knows, and it can see the bigger picture. It's right there beside you, guiding you every step of the way. But if you feel like you don't know what I'm talking about, or you feel a little bit disconnected from your higher self, I will put the link in the description box below. But take a look at higher self quantum healing. It's like having a direct line with your higher self, not just for healing, but for clarity and direction. And so the things that scare us the most, like being seen, speaking our truth, taking that leap, starting over, are almost always the doorways into becoming who you truly are. Fear shows up right before everything shifts, and underneath it all, it's not there to block you, but it's there to initiate you, to call you into more of who you really are, who you truly are, towards your soul purpose, your dharma and soul calling. And I remember a time when I felt exactly like this, scared, filled with anxiety of taking this leap, unsure of where it was going to take me. And in a moment, I'm going to explain what I discovered, what I learned that changed everything. And this is what many of us are going through, where we can't see the path ahead, but we're filled with anxiety, emotional struggle, and inner turmoil. But you also feel that quiet nudge, the one that comes right before something big is about to change. It's subtle, but it's there. That's where transformation begins. And here's what no one tells you. The moment that you say yes to courage, the moment that you lean into that fear, even in the smallest, quietest way, an invisible shift begins. You won't always see it right away, and it might not be loud or dramatic, but trust me, it's real and it's there. Something inside starts to rewire, and you may not have the words for it, but deep down you can sense and feel that change is happening, change is beginning. You start to build trust, you start to reclaim your power, and you realize that I'm very much capable of more than I thought. And the more you do it, the more your inner landscape begins to shift and change. Your internal vibration begins to change, because as you move forward and you choose courage again and again, and you lean into that fear, you build momentum. It's like building a bridge to your future self, one brave, intentional step at a time, through repetition, through consistently meeting your edge and moving forward anyway, choosing yourself over and over again, over your limitations, over your beliefs, over the old programming and conditioning, over your fear and survival patterns, over your trauma that really are not serving your highest good, that are not in alignment with where your soul is calling for you to grow. And this is how new identities, that new version of yourself, is forged. There was a time in my life when I felt like everything was on the line. My own father and extended family members turned against me. They tried to take me to court, and in that moment, everything around me came crashing down. In that moment, all my old fears and beliefs came rushing back, and I was faced with the question, do I give in to my fears, my old survival patterns, just to be seen as the good one, even though I knew that what they were doing was wrong? Just to fit in, just to have a sense of belonging, just to be loved by people who never really treated me well, and to be honest, by people who never really gave me the love and respect that I deserved growing up. And this all happened after my granddad's death. And those of you who know me know that I was raised and brought up by my grandparents. It was a time of deep emotional turmoil, a dark period in my life, and I was caught between the fear of rejection, old abandonment issues coming up back to the surface, and the call of my higher self calling me, urging me to let go of the need for validation from others. And as the weeks and months went by, I kept hearing this nudge, this higher calling, but I was too scared to take that leap, to step into an unknown territory, because it meant going against everything that I'd known. Even though that was the thing that was killing my spirit, holding me back and keeping me stuck in that old identity. It wasn't easy letting go of these long-held beliefs about family, love, and self-worth. It felt like I was walking away from everything I thought was true. But in these moments, those quiet moments, when I listened, to that inner voice within, my intuition, my higher self, I started realizing that I had to take back my power. This was my chance to break free, to stop letting my worth be defined by people who truly couldn't see me, to stop letting my survival patterns control me, and to stop fighting for a place in a family that never really treated me with respect. Let me know in the comments down below if you find yourself going through something like this, and where I can, I will offer my intuitive guidance and support. Or perhaps you've been through something like this and there's something in particular that helped shift your reality. Let me know in the comments down below, because it can always help other people who are on the same path. And when I fought back and I took action and made a decision that aligned with my soul, that's when I understood that I was actually stepping into that next version of myself, and the only way forward was to let go, to embrace my truth, and to call back my power. And the more I leaned into that fear, I used that fear as my initiative to redefine and to reinvent myself. In other words, shift realities. In a moment, I'll explain what I learned, but here's the truth that no one tells you. You are not waiting for your new life. Your new life is waiting for you to stop being the old version. Every time you say, well, this is just the way I am, every time you react out of habit, or every time you choose your fear over your future self, you're reinforcing your current reality, the vibrational frequency of your current reality, and nothing shifts or changes. And so in a moment, I'll be sharing with you some self-reflective questions that will help you dig that little bit deeper and help shift your mindset. But if you're thinking, well, okay, I can hear the nudge, I can hear the call, but I'm standing right here and I'm at this crossroads, and I'm not sure that if I make that decision, what's on the other side of it, then let me tell you, you have to commit to yourself. And it may not be that simple or straightforward or a one-time decision, it's a practice. And you may already know this, especially if you're on this deep spiritual awakening journey. Every day you are faced with the opportunity to choose different, to create the life that you desire, that you want, better health, a problem being solved for you through the power of your thoughts that you constantly emit out into the quantum field. Because through that, you will then draw back to you whatever you are emitting out into the unified field. And you have the opportunity to consistently walk through the fear, walk through the doorway, come out the other side, knowing that every step forward is part of your transformation. And if you've been waiting for a sign, then this is it. Your future isn't out there, it's already here in the now, in the present moment of now, and it's in the unified field, but it's invisible to the version of you who keeps replaying the past. But the moment that you pause, the moment that you call back all that fractured energy into your present moment of now, and you allow yourself to sit through the discomfort, you allow yourself to feel, to heal, to trust the process, you raise your conscious awareness, and you're able to then clearly think, feel, and do differently to your past self. And then you move forward, stepping with courage, being persistent, tapping into strength, stepping into that new version of yourself every time. You create ripples effect into your energy field. And that's how you then create that greater change that you so desire. And what I noticed when I made that decision to step outside of my known familiar reality was that I started to see signs, synchronicities, symbols, intuitive nudges and wisdom coming through, as well as spiritual and esoteric phenomena, and opportunities pouring in. And even though I didn't know it at the time, that years later I will be there connecting and helping people across the world, because at that time I was a teacher and going through so much. But I just want you to know that it takes a lot of courage to really put yourself out there and embody who you've come here to be. Because when you're going through all of this, you may not even realize that you are actually releasing and closing an old karmic cycle. And on the other end of that, you shift and change so much and on so many levels that you can't even imagine where it's going to take you. But you have to take that step. You have to face that fear and use it as initiative to redefine who you are and to walk through that tunnel of transformation. And here's what I learned. You won't always feel confident or have all the answers, but in order to embody and become the version of yourself, you have to keep showing up, and you have to continually, persistently, with courage, take those steps forward, even if they are small steps and even if they feel small. But these quiet steps will eventually accumulate into a powerful force. It's like planting seeds. Sometimes they take time to grow, but their growth is rooted in your commitment. And eventually you'll look back and realize how far you've come, all those things that you've overcome, and how much you've grown, not just as a person, but spiritually and energetically, and how much things have shifted and changed around you. You know, I can't believe it's been nearly 4 years since I went through all of that stuff. And I can't believe the amount of strength it's taken, the hurdles and the obstacles that I faced along the way, dark night of the soul moments, to become the version that I am now. And how often I've put my trust into my higher self that has guided and shown me every step of the way. And how I've surrendered over to the universe to help and guide me. So let me ask you, are you ready to step into that new version of yourself? Are you ready to step into that next level of yourself, that next conscious level of you? I want you to pause and take a moment to acknowledge what comes up. Any feelings, any thoughts, any sensations or tightness, or even resistance, maybe even excitement. Just observe without any judgment. This awareness is powerful. What you just felt, that's the edge of who you've been and the beginning of who you are becoming. So don't rush past it. Give yourself the space to anchor this moment. And you can anchor this moment in by either journaling, followed by a deep dive and more self-reflective questions, or by taking one brave step towards your future self. And in a moment, I'll go through some more self-reflective questions, but I just want to remind you that this isn't about having it all figured out. It's about listening, it's about trusting, and it's about showing up anyway. Here's what's wild. As soon as you shift internally, life starts to mirror back at you. New people arrive, synchronicities appear, doors that you couldn't see before open up for you. So if you've been hearing that call, that nudge, that whisper, you have to make the first move. You move first with your energy, your courage, your strength, your new beliefs. And then reality follows. It's how alignment works. You shift within first, and then your external is reflected back to you with your truth. I have also witnessed this with my clients through higher self quantum healing, where through my vessel, I connect and channel their higher self, bringing forth clarity, answers, direction, and on a cellular level, healing, realignment, and clearing of any blockages and old energies across all lifetimes. And it's amazing when I hear their stories after the healing session of how much their life has changed, what opportunities came their way, and how much they've moved leaps and bounds across different lifetimes. And for some, it's instant, it's the next day. But either way, I just want you to know that, you're not waiting for the right moment. You're more than ready. You are more than enough. You're more than enough than all the stories that are holding you back. And you don't need to earn your worth. You are already deserving of everything. It's just that the limitations that are holding you back. And the key to all of this is you. You are the key to everything. You always have been. So what do you think is the thing that is holding you back, and why? What would happen if you took that step anyway? What do you think you are still holding on to that's keeping you from becoming? What version of yourself feels safe but no longer feels aligned? What would it look like to exchange fear for trust? Or for safety, or for something else, for something even better, for yourself? What would it look like for you to step into the unknown, to where your soul is calling? How would your life look like if you faced that fear? What amazing things can happen in your life? Think about all the wonderful things that can come into your life if you let go of the old. I want you to hold that vision in your mind's eye. I want you to feel into it. I want you to breathe into it. Breathe life into it. And believe in the possibility, because there are infinite possibilities out there in the quantum field that are ready for you to tune into the moment you allow yourself to pause, stop, reflect, and to bring your conscious awareness in the here and now. Now here's the truth about growth. You have to let go of something in order to step into something greater. For example, in the same way that we would exchange money for new clothes so that we can feel and look better, or exchange money for an adventure, for a trip, so that we can create excitement in our life and tap into new experiences. In the same way, we have to exchange ourselves, our limitations, our old programming and conditioning, the smallness that we feel in our life, for who we have come here to truly be. And even though it can feel like a loss of the old self, but what if it isn't a loss at all? What if it's actually a sacred trade? Old self for expanded self, familiarity for freedom, comfort for purpose. I want you to just take a moment and just think about that and where that sits with you. If it's uncomfortable, dig a little bit deeper. If it resonates with you and it calls to you, feel into that and then start taking aligned action. The version of you becoming already exists. You just got to follow it with love and trust and keep choosing it and moving forward towards it. Remember that you are not behind. You are in the very much of becoming it. If this speaks to you, let me know in the comments down below, and why not share it with others who need to hear this message, and I will see you soon. Take care, much love. Namaste.